Okay, there you go. So, in the Philippines, according to Commission for Higher Education or CHED, Director Patricia Licuanan, women dominate the fields of teacher education, humanities, social sciences, business administration, medical and allied fields, home economics, mass communication, and even natural sciences and mathematics that remain underrepresented by person dapat yan. So in engineering and technology, fine and applied arts, religion and theology, law and jurisprudence, architecture and town planning, trade and industry, agriculture, fisheries and forestry, and maritime studies. Okay, this was retrieved last December 3, 2014. Okay, kindly read. How about the boys? I need to hear boys. Jerome.
Ma'am.
Okay,
Um,
kindly read Jerome.
Replacing the biases against women and violence against them. The Philippine government promulgated Republic Act number 9710, an act providing for the Magna Carta of Women in 2008. One of its silent provisions addresses the problem of stereotypes in education. Sector 10, equal access and elimination of discrimination in education, scholarships, and training. The state shall ensure that gender stereotypes and image in educational materials and curricula are adequately and appropriately defined.
Okay, thank you, Jerome. So, okay, revise. So, according dito, promulgated Republic Act number na providing for the Magna Carta of Women in 2008. Okay, next. How about Tristan? Can you read? Gender sensitive language. Tristan? Hello?
Ma'am, ako po.
Tristan. Okay, go. Tristan, can you read?
Po. Ma'am, bakit po? Gender-sensitive language shall be used at all times capacity building on gender and development, peace and human rights. Education for teachers and all those involved in the education sector shall be pursued toward this end. Partnerships between and among players of the education sector, including the private sector, churches, and faith groups, shall be encouraged. Teachers training must also be restructured, along sensitizing future teachers to be perceptive of the unacknowledged gender stereotypes in the school and community.
Okay, thank you, Tristan. So this is all about gender sensitive language. So according sa Section 13, pantay na pag-access at pag-alis ng diskriminasyon sa mga scholarship sa edukasyon at pagsasanay. Dapat tiyakin ng Estado ng mga stereotype ng kasarian at ang mga larawan ng edukasyon at curriculum ay sapat at appropriate siya na na-revise. So, ang partnerships among players of the education sector, kabilang ang pribadong sektor, mga simbahan at faith groups ay dapat hikayatin. Dapat ding isaayos ang teachers training kasama ang pagpaparamdam sa mga future teachers na maging maunawain sa mga unacknowledged gender stereotypes sa paaralan at sa community. Okay? As Joel Spring 2009 points out, contributing factor to the growth of gender equality in school achievement is a belief that the education of women is important. Among other things, for national competition in the global economy, as caretakers of children, women are preparing the future generation of workers, and women are needed as workers in the knowledge economy. So, ang naaambag nasalik sa paglago ng gender equality sa tagumpay ng paaralan ay isang paniniwala ng edukasyon ng kababaihan ay mahalaga. Bukod sa iba pang mga bagay para sa national competition na global economy bilang tagapangalaga ng mga bata, ang kababaihan ay inihahanda para sa future ng ating mamamayan at para sa ekonomiya ng kaalaman. Okay, our next topic would be education and globalization, internationalization of education. According to Joel Spring, 2009, page 1, globalization of education refers to the worldwide discussions, processes, and institutions affecting local educational practices and policies. The key in the previous statement is the worldwide. This means that events are happening on a global scale that affect national school systems. The image is that of global educational policies and practices existing in a superstructure above national and local schools, with the shrinking of the world into a small village through ICT. Various economic trade agreements and political integration, education is not spared from the currents of globalization. Next. Okay. So some critics have argued that the policies of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, the UNESCO, the World Trade Organization, WTO, and the General Agreement on Trade and Services, or GATS, operate as powerful forces, which as supranational organizations shape and influence education and policy around the world. So, ang globalisasyon ng edukasyon ay tumutukoy sa mga pandaigdigang talakayan, proseso at institusyon na nakakaapekto sa mga lokal na kasanayan at patakarang pang-edukasyon. Ang susi sa nakaraang pahayag ay ang buong mundo. Nangangahulugan ito na ang mga kaganapan ay nangyari sa isang pandaigdigang saklaw na nakaaapekto sa sistema ng pambansang paaralan. Okay, this is about internationalization of education. Okay, kindly read, Mokil, the effects of economic globalization.
The effects of economic globalization on education are complex. Globalization facilitates the flow of people and knowledge across national borders. This means skilled workers can move from the country of origin to a more promising employment another. Hence, globalization necessitates the growing standardization of curriculum, language, or instruction, and even academic calendar.
Okay, thank you. And even academic calendar. Okay, the next one is the integration. Okay, kindly read. Oh, wait. Nabuk pala. Okay. Nabisahan ko na. Kindly read, Desiree, the integration.
The integration of world economies also means that the integration of local universities to international higher learning institution. Universities are linked more and more through networks and research that span across the globe. This process is linked with nationalization of education.
Okay, thank you, Desiree and Mofia. So, tama, ang mga epekto ng globalisasyon sa ekonomiya ay masalimuot. Ika nga, complex, sabi dito. So, pinapadali ng globalisasyon ang daloy ng mga tao at kaalaman sa mga hangganan ng bansa. So, nangangahulugan ito na ang mga bihasang manggagawa o skilled workers ay maaaring lumipat mula sa bansang pinanggalingan patungo sa isang mas promising na trabaho sa iba. Kaya naman, kailangan ng globalisasyon ang lumalagong standardization. Wait lang po ha. Okay. Kaya naman, kailangan ng globalisasyon ang lumalagong standardization of curriculum, wika, o pagtuturo at maging ang academic calendar. So nabanggit dito yung academic calendar. Ang integrasyon ng world economies ay nangangahulugan din ng pagsasama ng mga lokal na universidad sa mga international higher learning institutions. Ang mga universidad ay higit na nakalink sa pamamagitan ng mga network at research na sumasaklaw sa buong mundo. Ang prosesong ito ay naugnay sa internationalization of education. So, hindi ito. Okay, next. Multiculturalism and education. So one of the effects of internationalizing education is standardization. By standardizing educational tests, quality measures, and the curriculum, many educational systems fail to address the problem of cultural differences among learners. Okay, globalization of education tends to follow the assimilationist and liberal ideology that dominated the Western nations project to create strong nation states amidst the diverse cultures of their people. In the assimilationist paradigm, education was used by the nation state to force individuals to surrender their ethnic and cultural attachments in exchange for citizenship. The assimilationist proponents argue that ethnic attachments and traditionalism are inconsistent with a modernized society and a civic culture. Nationhood is equated with homogenization of national culture. So, isa sa mga epekto ng internationalization ng edukasyon ay ang standardization. Sa pamamagitan ng pag-standardize sa mga educational tests, quality measures, at curriculum, maraming mga sistemang pang-edukasyon ang nabigo upang matugunan ang problema ng mga pagkakaiba sa kultura sa mga mag-aaral. So, ang globalisasyon ng edukasyon ay may posibilidad na sundin ang assimilationist at liberal na ideology na nangingibabaw sa proyekto ng mga Western nations na lumikha ng mga matibay na nation states. Sa gitna ng magkaibang kultura ng mga tao. So, ang pagiging national ay tinutumbasan ng homogenization ng pambansang kultura. Ika nga. So, guys. Okay, next slide. So, this is for your summative assessment in your module. Okay, number 1, given the basic problems of the Philippine educational system, such as shortages of classrooms, teachers, textbooks, and facilities, and the low salary of teachers, what concrete solutions can you suggest? Then number 2, do research on changing the academic calendar, moving the start of classes in our country. You may interview students and teachers from schools that have changed their academic calendars. List all the advantages and disadvantages of adopting a new academic calendar. Then among the advantages and disadvantages, which is the most convincing? Okay, so that would be the last slide. Wait lang po ha, hindi pa tayo tapos. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Actually, mahaba talaga to module 3. Shortcut ko lang siya para hindi tayo maging hindi tayo information overload. So, tatanungin ko lang din kayo tungkol sa essential questions for consideration. Parang brief na sagot lang. Sagutin nyo lang yung mga questions. Okay? para may participation kayo today. So, kindly answer, why is education important for social development? Sige, kung sino may idea. Students, why is education important for social development?
Ma'am,
Okay, go.
ma'am, to develop their skills po.
Yes, tama, to develop their skills. Para makasa. Okay, any more? Sino may idea pa? Why is education important for social development? Okay,
Ma'am, ako po.
sige, go.
Ma'am, pag wala pong education, parang hindi po uunlad yung isang bansa po. Pag marami pong mga tao yung hindi nakakapag-aral.
Ay, true. Tama po, tama yan. Okay? Okay, ikaw yun, Bella, di ba? Yung nagsalita.
Yes po.
Okay, thank you. Sige. Oo, malaki epekto talaga. Importante talaga ang education sa atin. Hindi unlad. Isang bansa pag konti or marami ang hindi nakakapag-aral. Okay, another question. Hmm. Ano kaya? Okay. This one. Maganda ito eh. What and who influenced your decision in your academic track? Okay. Sino nag-influence sa inyo? Pwede natin na kayo pwede.
Ma'am,
Yes, go. Sagot. I wish mo to.
ma'am, sa akin po, yung nag-influence po sa akin na kunin yung track or yung academic strand ko po is yung sa cousin ko po. Din.
Okay. Bakit sa cousin mo?
Ano po sir, ano po kasi siya sir, engineer po siya. Tapos gusto ko rin po yung kunin yung same path as him.
Okay. Tama din. Maganda.
Ma'am,
yung
ako po.
inspiration niyo. Okay, go.
Ma'am, for me po, hindi po ako or wala po nag-influence sa akin. Parang personal choice ko po yung yung kinuha ko po. Kasi for me po, yun po, dun po ako interesado. Tsaka I think yung track po na kinuha ko, magbibigay po siya sa akin ng parang mas ma-emphasize ko po yung gusto ko pong matutunan dun sa track na kinuha ko po.
Okay. Oo. Kanya-kanya tayong mga kwan. So, may personal, may nag-influence. Tama din naman yan. Kay Bella and kay Marcel. Okay. Sino pa? Sa mga boys. Paano? Sino nag-influence sa inyo? About Tristan, Jerome? Okay. Okay, babale.
Ma'am, ako po.
Sige, go. Sino na yan? Si Desiree.
Desiree po.
Okay, go. Sino nag-influence sa'yo?
Ma'am, ako lang din po.
Personal din. Okay.
Sir,
Bakit?
sir. Ma'am, kasi dun sa track na kinuha ko, dalawa yung pwede kong dun, ma'am eh. Magpipilian na course sa college. Yun na po.
Okay, nice din. Personal choice. Maganda din. So, that's it. Okay, wait for a minute. Okay, go back tayo sa end of slideshow. Stop share ko lang. Para mag-open na tayo ng cameras for what? Okay, but before that, so thank you very much, Grade 11, for your participation. So let me end our meeting through our closing prayer first. Okay. Our merciful and loving Father in heaven, we thank you once again for this day and our Zoom meeting. May all the lessons we tackled for this day keep in our hearts and minds that guide us and help us in our studies. As we continue our day, we ask for your guidance and protection. We ask for your forgiveness once again for all the sins that we've committed against your will All these things we ask in the mighty name of our Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, so kindly open your camera, students. Let me take a screenshot for our attendance. Okay, attendance na. Early dismissal tayo today. Ito 12 dapat eh. Okay, kasi sinorten ko lang or sinamarize ko lang yung natin. Module 3. How about Pauline and Jerome?
Po, ma'am.
Yes, open camera for attendance. Let me see your beautiful faces. Maganda po, J, of course. Si Jerome. Baka mag-open Okay na, magbibilang ako ha. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Other one, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, kung sino yung mga umattend dito
po.
ngayon, attend pa rin next meeting. May meeting time tayo sa 6. Okay? Attend kayo ha?
Po, ma'am.
Okay,
Sige
thank
po,
you very
ma'am.
much. Thank you, Tito Ever. Dali na mag-leave.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
po.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye po.
Bye. Thank you.